Have you ever stopped to think about the spoon? Probably not, right? It's just there. It's the humble, unassuming hero of your cereal bowl, the silent partner to your favorite soup. A curved shell, a hollowed-out piece of wood, maybe even a smooth, conveniently shaped stone. Imagine an early human finding a seashell on the shore and realizing, hey, this is perfect for scooping up water or some kind of primitive broth. That moment, that simple realization, was the birth of the spoon. Let's fast forward to ancient civilizations like Egypt, Greece, and Rome. This is where the spoon starts to get a little more refined. The Egyptians, known for their incredible craftsmanship, created spoons from materials like ivory, slate, and wood, often with intricate carvings. Imagine a pharaoh using a beautifully adorned spoon for a sacred ritual. The handle became a canvas for expression. You might see handles carved to look like lotus flowers, animals, or human figures. These were prized possessions. The Romans took things a step further. They were master metalworkers, and they started producing spoons from bronze and silver. This was a significant upgrade. Metal spoons were more durable, easier to clean, and could be mass-produced to a certain extent. There was the ligula, a smaller spoon with a pointed handle, which was likely used for things like eggs or snails, kind of like a modern-day seafood fork and spoon combined. It's amazing to think that the basic design principles the Romans used are still with us thousands of years later. They figured out what worked, and it stuck. Now, let's jump into the Middle Ages. After the fall of the Roman Empire, things got a bit less standardized. For a while, fancy metal spoons were mostly for the wealthy elite kings, queens, and high-ranking clergy. The common folk, they mostly went back to using spoons made of wood or even animal horn. Horn was a great material because you could heat it and press it into shape, making it quite versatile. But during this period, the spoon also took on a very special significance in Christianity. The anointing spoon used to anoint the British monarch with holy oil during their coronation is a tradition that dates back to the 12th century. This specific spoon is one of the oldest and most sacred items in the crown jewels. So, the spoon wasn't just for soup anymore. It was an object of immense symbolic power, connecting monarchs to the divine. The Renaissance brought a new wave of artistry and craftsmanship to Europe, and the spoon was no exception. This is when we start to see the emergence of what are known as apostle spoons. These were sets of 13 spoons, usually silver, where the handle of each spoon was topped with a figure of one of the 12 apostles, and the 13th was Jesus Christ. These were incredibly popular christening gifts among the wealthy. If you were a lucky baby in the 15th or 16th century, your godparent might give you a single spoon with the figure of your patron saint. If you were from a very rich family, you might get the whole set. It was a bit like collecting action figures, but way, way more expensive and with religious significance. The phrase "born with a silver spoon in his mouth" actually comes from this tradition, referring to someone born into a family wealthy enough to afford such a luxurious gift. As we move into the 17th and 18th centuries, the shape of the spoon starts to morph into what we're more familiar with today. The bowl, which had been mostly fig-shaped or round, started to become more oval. The end of the handle, which was often just a simple stump or a decorative knob, began to flatten out and get a distinctive upturn at the end. This design, often called the Hanoverian pattern, was not just for looks. It was ergonomic. It balanced better in the hand and was more comfortable to hold. This was a period of increasing refinement in dining etiquette. There were grapefruit spoons with serrated edges, bouillon spoons with round bowls, demi-tasse spoons for tiny coffee cups, salt spoons, mustard spoons, and the list goes on and on. It was a wild time for utensil enthusiasts. This specialization reflected the era's obsession with order, propriety, and having the exact right tool for every conceivable task. And that brings us to the 20th and 21st centuries. While the basic form of the spoon has remained remarkably consistent, innovation hasn't stopped. We've developed new materials, like stainless steel, which is now the most common material for cutlery because it's durable, affordable, and doesn't rust. We have plastic spoons for picnics and parties. We even have the spork, that glorious hybrid of spoon and fork, a testament to our ongoing quest for efficiency. In recent years, there's been a push for more sustainable options, like reusable bamboo spoons or even edible spoons, to combat single-use plastic waste. The spoon continues to adapt to our changing values and technologies. So, the next time you pick up a spoon to stir your coffee or eat your ice cream, take a second to appreciate it. This simple, elegant tool has been with us for tens of thousands of years. It has evolved from a humble seashell to a symbol of divine right, from a status symbol for the rich to an everyday object for the masses. Its story is our story, a story of innovation, art, society, and the simple, universal human need to get soup from a bowl to our mouth. It's not just a spoon, it's a piece of history you can hold in your hand. Thanks for joining us on this journey through time. If you found this surprisingly interesting, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the history of everyday things. Let us know in the comments what object we should explore next. See you in the next video.